Welcome to Holistica's Hometown Monster Stories. These are collected from around the United States by family and friends of Holistica, or just things heard at work or around the campfire at night. The places are all real. None of the names of towns and locations have been changed. Only the names of the people have been changed to protect their online presence. And their rough stories have been enhanced to give more atmosphere to what happened to them on dark, mysterious night in places where man should not go alone.
It was December 14, 2021. I wasn't planning sharing this story again. I didn't have any of my equipment with me, so I can't prove it. Truth is, I came home irritated, tired, and smelling like wet concrete and diesel fuel. The last thing on my mind was documenting some strange experience. But after what happened on Highway 47 outside Macville, I don't think I'll be getting much sleep anyway. For those who don't know me, my name's Jeff Kendies. By day, I work construction. Mostly commercial jobs, sometimes road work, whatever pays. By night, or at least on weekends, I dabble in ghost hunting. Nothing professional. Just me. A few cameras, an audio recorder, and a lifelong fascination with the strange things that happen in forgotten corners of Wisconsin. Most of the time, I find nothing. An old building creaks. A raccoon knocks something over. Somebody mistakes headlights for spirits. That's usually how it goes. Tonight felt different. The day started over in Black Creek. We'd been working on a renovation project that had dragged on for weeks. The foreman was in a foul mood all day. One of the subcontractors failed an inspection, which meant everybody got blamed for everything. By quitting time, my patience was about gone. The temperature had dropped fast after sunset. By the time I got in my truck, it was around 20 degrees. The sky was clear, the stars were bright, and a cold December wind was blowing across the fields. I remember looking at the clock on my dashboard. 10:28 p.m. I started heading home. The roads were mostly empty, which is pretty normal on a Tuesday night. Every now and then another vehicle would pass, but otherwise it was just me, the truck, and miles of darkness. Around 10:30, I came through Macville. Most people don't think much about Macville. Blink and you'll miss it. A few old buildings, a church, some houses, and a lot of history nobody pays attention to anymore. One place always catches my eye. An old building that was once called Gainer's Tavern. Back in the day, it served as a general store and gathering place for locals. Farmers would stop in, buy supplies, talk weather, complain about crops, and drink coffee around the pot-bellied stove. Nowadays, it's called Beansnappers. A strip club. It's one of those places everybody pretends they've never visited, but somehow stays in business year after year. The parking lot had a few cars in it when I drove by. The neon sign buzzed weakly against the darkness. I remember shaking my head and thinking about how strange it was that an old historic building ended up like that. Then I saw him. At first, I thought it was a pedestrian. An old man standing directly in the middle of the roadway. Not walking. Not crossing. Just standing there. I immediately hit the brakes. My headlights lit him up perfectly. He appeared to be elderly, maybe 70 or 80 years old. Thin, tall. His shoulders were slightly hunched. He wore dark trousers and a white shirt with rolled sleeves. Over the shirt was a long grocer's apron. The old-fashioned kind. The type you'd see in photographs from the early 1900s. His hair looked gray. His face was pale. He wasn't looking at me. Instead, he was staring toward the old tavern building. Completely motionless. I remember getting angry more than scared. After the day I'd had, I wasn't in the mood for somebody wandering around in traffic. I rolled down the window. Hey, nothing. No reaction. I honked the horn. The sound echoed through the cold air. Still nothing. The man never moved. I put the truck in park. I don't know why. Part of me was annoyed. Part of me was concerned he might be confused or having some sort of medical problem. I grabbed my flashlight and stepped out. The cold hit me immediately. The wind had picked up. I could hear it moving through bare tree branches somewhere nearby. The road was silent. No traffic. No voices. No music coming from the club. Just wind. The old man remained standing in the headlights. I started walking toward him. "Sir," I called. No response. I got closer. Maybe 30 feet away. Then 20. The closer I got, the stranger things felt. The air seemed colder around him. Not dramatically colder. Just enough to notice. Enough that the hairs on my neck stood up. I slowed down. Something about him didn't seem right. His clothing looked real. His posture looked real. Yet there was a softness around the edges of him. Almost like I wasn't seeing him clearly. Like he was standing behind a thin layer of fog. "Sir, you need to get out of the road." The moment the words left my mouth, he turned his head. Slowly, very slowly, and looked directly at me. I can't accurately describe what I saw. His face looked normal enough. Old, weathered, tired, but his eyes seemed distant. As though he wasn't actually looking at me. As though he were looking through me. For 1 second, we locked eyes. Then the wind gusted. A swirl of mist rolled across the roadway. And the man vanished. Not walked away. Not ran. Vanished. One moment he was there. The next moment there was nothing. Just mist drifting through my headlights. I stood frozen. My flashlight shook in my hand. I scanned the road. The ditch. The fields. Nothing. No footprints. No sound. No movement. The old man was simply gone. I spent the next 10 minutes searching the area. I even walked near the old building. Nothing. Eventually, I returned to my truck. I sat there for several minutes trying to convince myself I'd imagined it. Maybe I was tired. Maybe the headlights reflected oddly. Maybe it was some combination of shadows and exhaustion. But I know what I saw. I've spent years investigating alleged hauntings. I've been inside abandoned hospitals, forgotten farmhouses, old schools, and cemeteries. I've never seen anything I'd call a full-bodied apparition. Not until tonight. After getting home, curiosity got the better of me. I started researching the history of Gainer's Tavern. One old article mentioned a grocer who operated out of the building during the early 20th century. An older gentleman who spent decades serving the community. I couldn't find a photograph. Just a name and a brief mention. Still, it made me wonder. Was the figure I saw connected to that place? Could a man become so attached to a location that part of him never truly leaves? I don't know. Maybe there are logical explanations. Maybe tomorrow I'll wake up and convince myself the whole thing was a trick of the eyes. But right now, sitting here at my kitchen table with a cup of coffee and midnight creeping closer, I keep seeing that old man standing in the roadway. Silent, motionless, watching the old tavern, waiting for something. And the strangest part of all, he never seemed surprised to see me. If anything, it felt like he was expecting me.
Hey viewers, Holistica here. I wanted to add more to give context to this story and share some more research that I have gathered involving the Beansnappers building. This is not the only apparent sighting to happen at or around this building or the village of Macville. In fact, several cryptid and ghost hunting societies have expressed interest and conducted experiments on the grounds. There's even occurrences reported at the Catholic Cathedral, St. Edward the Confessor. The website for Cryptids, Anomalies, and Paranormal, CAPS, reports several YouTube videos, the most notable being Spirits of Macville and one TV documentary for My Haunted Hometown, and aired on Season 1, Episode 8, Tortured Spirits. CAPS also has a yearly convention called CAP Con Wisconsin, which meets at the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center, 625W Rolling Meadows, Dr. Fond du Lac, where they give yearly updates on the Beansnappers building and others in Wisconsin. The next meeting is May 8, 2027. I will include all information in the description below. Thank you.